I'm going to show you how to do a crochet bobble. Done a row there of treble stitches. I'm in the UK, we call them treble stitches. If you're American, you probably call them double crochet stitches. And just like knitting, with crochet you can do aran patterns, cables and bobbles and ribs. And it's actually a lot easier with crochet because you don't have all that faffing about putting your stitches onto cable needles or going backwards and forwards with bobble stitches. Much easier, much quicker to do aran type fabrics with crochet. So I've just done a few more trebles there, and I'm going to do a bobble now in the next stitch. Now I've done trebles here. It doesn't matter what stitch you're doing as long as your bobble is worked with a longer stitch than the rest of the row. So with trebles you wrap the yarn around the needle once for your stitch. So for the bobble I'm going to wrap it round twice. That way the stitch will be longer and then it will stick out like a little bubble. So wrap it round twice, insert it into the next stitch, pull it through, pull it through two, pull it through two, and it's just like when you are doing decreasing. Leave two loops on your hook, and again wrap it round twice into the same stitch, just as you do if you were decreasing. Pull it through two, pull it through two. Not very good yarn this, is it? And then you've got three on there. I'm going to do this bobble with just 3 stitches into there. You could do 4 if you want a bigger bobble. I'm just going to do 3. Wrap it round twice into that same stitch, pull it through two, pull it through two. Okay, so I'm having a bit of trouble with this yarn. There we go, pull it through two. Okay, and then just as you would if you were doing a decrease, except this isn't a decrease because you've done all the stitches into the same stitch there. So you've got 4 on your hook. Pull the yarn through all of them. Okay, and just to neaten it off, you just do a little stitch at the top there. Then you carry on doing your trebles. And the rest of the row. I'm just going to do 3 there. I'm not going to go right to the end, just to save time for you. Right, and then imagine we've got to the end there, and then you do your 3 chain to turn as usual. Turn it round. Miss the first stitch as usual because your 3 chain count as a stitch. So we've done that stitch, and do a treble into the next one. Pull some yarn off there, treble into the next one, and then a treble into the top of that bobble. You can see the bobble there now. There it is. There's the little stitch you did to close, and there's your actual stitch. Doesn't matter which one you do it into. Sometimes it can be a bit difficult to get it into that little stitch. If you do it into that little stitch, don't forget to miss that one out. A bit easier to do it into that one. I've done that very well, have I? It's this yarn not very good. Into that stitch. To the end of the row. Don't forget we're counting the turning chain as a stitch. So one more treble into the top chain of that turning chain, and then you do your 3 chain turn. So there's your bobble. You see it sticking out there? Much easier, much quicker than knitting. Another way of doing a bobble is a stitch called a popcorn stitch. Don't know why it's called a popcorn, but there you go. I've done a row of trebles, or double crochet if you're American, and I've just done a few more on the next row. And we need a stitch that's longer than a treble, so we're going to do double trebles into the next stitch, or trebles if you're American. So you need to wrap it round twice, and I'm going to do 4 stitches into the next stitch. When you're doing an ordinary bobble, you don't do the last pull through, and then you do several more and pull the yarn through all of the stitches at the end. But with the popcorn you finish the stitch off. I'm going to do 4, do as many as you like, depending how big you want your popcorn. So that's 2. 3. 4. Okay, so there's your 4 double trebles. You take your hook out of there, and as you can see, there's the stem of the stitch. That's where you insert your hook on the next row normally. I'm just saying that so you know which way you're putting your hook for this one, because you need to put your hook into the top of your first one. So it's always just to the right when you've got your work facing. If you're doing another row, you'd be turning around and you work back that way. Your stitch is always just to the left of the stem of your stitch, because we got it this way round. Your stitch is just to the right. So there's the stem of your stitch. That's where you insert your hook. So insert your hook into there, into the first stitch, and then back into there and pull it through. Sorry, this yarn is dreadful. It keeps separating. Hook that up and pull it through there. And there's your popcorn, and then you carry on doing trebles. To the end of the row. It sticks out a little bit more than an ordinary bobble. The nice thing about this is when you do a bobble, your bobble always will go that way. Well, you can push it through this way when you're doing an ordinary bobble, but it tends not to stay, it tends to go that way. But with the popcorn, you can have it either way. So with bobbles, you could only do bobbles every other row. But with popcorns, you can do popcorns on the next row as well, because you can make it go whichever side you like, and it'll stay there. Into the turning chain. 3 chain to turn. 1, 2, 3. turn your work round. That's counted as the first stitch, so we've already done the first stitch, so we don't work into that one there. We'll treble into the next one. Into the next one. Now remember your stitch is slightly to the left of the stem, so there's another one here. Work into that one before you work into the top of the popcorn. There's your popcorn there. You work into that little loop there at the top where you pulled the loop through on the other row. So into there for the next one. And carry on to the end. Sorry there's a lot of shadows on this, I hope you can see that properly. I'm sitting in my car in my lunch hour doing this and it's quite a sunny day, despite being October. Right, and you do 3 chain and turn, as usual. And there's your popcorn.